Well done.
Apologies to Hanside if that was yelling. Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise today to speak on this very important matter. There's no more important matter than integrity in government. Today's report in the Mercury, which everyone would have seen on the front page, and the government surely would have seen the front page, comes as no real surprise. It reiterates what most people in Tasmania, with the exception of the government, the notable exception of the government, know. I'd like to begin also by acknowledging that the time the CEO of the Integrity Commission gave me recently to brief me on the functions and the operations of the Integrity Commission, I understand he extended that invitation to all members of Parliament. But after that briefing, there was nothing really that allayed my concerns.
Oh.
The report released by the Australia Institute is damning. And I think it's important to read the very front page of that report, and I'm sure the government has it and should read it. It says, still toothless, jurisdictional, funding and secrecy issues in the Integrity Commission Tasmania. Tasmania's Integrity Commission is weak and is losing public trust. It has never held a public hearing. It has run fewer investigations than any other state's integrity body. It has the second lowest per capita budget. It has only ever referred 2 people for prosecution, the lowest number of any state. Tasmania's Commission needs broader jurisdiction, public hearings and more funding. Damning indeed. And what has been the government's response, Mr Speaker? Their head has gone firmly in the sand, but perhaps that's too generous a description of what the government's response has been. It's more likely that they are scared of what a properly functioning Integrity Commission will uncover. A bit like their federal counterparts, running scared from an anti-corruption watchdog. So because of a lack of government's action and clearly no desire to make improvements, if after 6 years they haven't got round to implementing the full tranche of recommendations from 6 years ago, we still have a toothless tiger. It is little wonder, Mr Speaker, that polling shows that 48.5% of Tasmanians lack trust in the Integrity Commission. That is absolutely disgraceful. 48.5% of Tasmanians don't have trust in an Integrity Commission, the very body, authority that is supposed to ensure that we have integrity in our systems of government. That the Tasmanians don't have trust in that. It's appalling. But I suspect, from having talked to many people on the street, that that is a conservative estimate. I suspect the number is much higher. The absence of public hearings is one concern that people constantly raise with me, particularly given the way that ICAC conduct themselves and the very public way they go about uncovering corruption in that state. The absence of justice being seen to be done is a real issue for Tasmanians. It leaves them disillusioned. And as the Attorney General said earlier, they've not had to have public hearings. I said that's not correct. I said the Integrity Commission has chosen not to hold public hearings.
That's right. Wow.
It is not, as his government suggests.
That is true.
Yeah,
I went to the briefing. I went to the briefing too. That is true.
It is absolutely true. They have chosen not to conduct public hearings. But it is not, as his government would have suggested, that we have no corruption in this state.
What a joke.
Tasmanians simply don't believe this.
Making a claim against the IC.
What worries me is that Tasmania's lack of trust leads to apathy, or at the very least, reluctance to report instances of corruption or misconduct.
Yep.
Because if you don't trust the very authority that is supposed to do the investigation, that's supposed to uncover corruption and misconduct and hold every member of this House and every member of government to account, then what is the point in reporting? If your complaint goes nowhere, if when you do receive your complaint, it's dealt with behind closed doors and in secret, and you don't understand the reasons why it wasn't further investigated. This is especially the case when the conduct complained of clearly does not pass a pub test, like the behaviour complained of during the 2018 election. Members of the public were left wondering, why was this not investigated? Now, the suggestion that is because of the lack of jurisdiction, that needs to be fixed. But we have a government who is absolutely unwilling to address this key issue, this key jurisdictional issue. It is a disgrace. And if you are lucky enough to have your complaint accepted for investigation, as I did with my complaint of the conduct of 3 senior public officials at Glenorchy City Council, then you have to wait in the dark for an investigation to take place in secret. Mr Speaker, my complaint was one of the very few that saw the light of day with the Integrity Commission. Investigation Pyramid. It made significant findings of fact suggesting very, very serious conflicts of interest with 3 public officials. The report, Investigation Pyramid, was one of 3 reports. It detailed 12 pages, findings of fact of serious issues of conflict of interest. But what was done? What was done was that it was referred back to the public authority at this point in time, the council, for further action. Now, it was damn lucky, Mr Speaker, that I, as complainant, was mayor at the time, so I was the officer charged with receiving the report. But what would have happened had I not been the mayor at the time? What would have happened if one of the people complained of was the mayor at the time? There would have been no further action. Now, in listening to the Integrity Commission on that particular matter and considering their referral back to me, I was asked to take action with little regard to the fact that as mayor at the time, under the Local Government Act, I had absolutely no authority to take action to deal with the findings of fact of serious conflict of interest that occurred at that particular point in time. So where did that report go? On behalf of the people of Glenorchy, it went nowhere. They were so disillusioned, the Integrity Commission, so absolutely disillusioned, and this is what this report exactly highlights. You can make a complaint, but the Integrity Commission is a toothless tiger. It goes nowhere, so why waste your time? It's an absolute shame. This is the way that this state deals with matters of integrity.
Member's time has expired. Time for the debate has expired. The question is that the bill be noted.